India and Afghanistan have a very unique relationship in all respects. Culturally speaking, the relationship has been founded on the shared values and culture, and a millennia-old relationship. Beyond religious faiths, beyond the government-to-government relationship that normally takes place between countries. Therefore, I'm very pleased to see the relationship growing in all respects, including the trade you just mentioned earlier. We are working very hard to expand on trade relations. Of course, India and Afghanistan has a regional agenda for trade connectivity. Chabar port is the latest example of Afghanistan and India together, bringing along the rest of the region to be connected. Well, as I said earlier, this is thousands of year old relationship. At least 3,000 years old. If you look at the historical sites in India, and the same applies to Afghanistan. These historical sites goes back to thousands of years. This means the connection between the two countries is very deep and very old. If you take few examples, not many, of the historical sites in Delhi, the Lodi Garden is a direct relationship to Afghanistan. The Qutub Minar, the Red Fort, etc. And the same in Afghanistan. Babur Garden. Babur himself buried in Kabul and his son Humayun buried in Delhi. This means it's a relationship of one nation, where a father dies and buried in Afghanistan, which is the Mughal Emperor Babur, and his son who also ruled the region, and he buried in Delhi. Father and son between the two countries means one nation. Well, cinema as a whole has played a very crucial role in promoting and strengthening the relationship of the two peoples. Bollywood as an industry is very connected to Afghanistan. The foundation of cinema in India, the Bollywood, I'm proud to relate to the Khans in India. Their roots are from Afghanistan, or their roots are in Afghanistan. So the Bollywood foundation and its relationship to Afghanistan in the subsequent years and decades has brought the relationship to a much higher level. The films or the movies you referred to earlier are, for example, Kabliwala, short documentary which illustrates the love between an Afghan and an Indian and the shared culture and values that we both share with one another. And the films such as Khuda Gawah in the 80s, when Amitabh Bachchan and his team went to Afghanistan and shot that film. So these are just few examples of the role cinema has played, and we are very hopeful that the Bollywood will continue to promote our relationship. And I must also tell you that the idea to promote this cinema to cinema relationship more than it is today. I was recently in Mumbai and I discussed at great length the issue of how we can bring closer our peoples through cinema. I discussed the idea with the governor to bring Afghan youth and give them training in Pune Center, where Bollywood stars or artists get trained. And we agreed that the Afghan youth will be coming to Pune to learn more about cinema, to play roles in cinema in the future, aimed at further promoting our people-to-people and culture relations. Well, Afghanistan is a virgin market. It's a market that is giving a lot of opportunities to companies. Apart from that, Afghanistan is a land bridge, which not only provides opportunity from within, but also of the entire region. Afghanistan role, traditional role to provide access to India for the rest of the region, mainly Central Asia, has always been an asset. And we're moving towards that revitalization, revival of the old traditional ties, trade ties with India and through the rest of the region. We've been very successful recently with regard to the inauguration of the Chabahar port. This will provide the Indian companies to have a direct contact to Afghanistan markets so that they are benefited from the markets within and also beyond in order for them to do trade with Central Asia through Afghanistan. Well, we are exploring opportunities. Afghanistan, as you know, is a landlocked country. We are building on what we have done so far and expand our trade means. So far, we do trade through road, through the Chabahar port to some degree, and we also added recently the air trade corridor from Afghanistan to India, and we are doing it not only this between Delhi and Kabul, but also expanding to the rest of states. We have already begun our air corridor trade between Kabul and Kandahar to Mumbai. We've had in the last couple of months, or 2 months, around 2 months, around 70 flights between Kabul and Kandahar and Delhi. So we are expanding this air trade corridor, from what we have right now to more in the future, adding other cities, other states. We're also aiming to connect air trade corridor with Amritsar, with Hyderabad city, and also with other countries in the region. This is a new option, an additional option to those businesses who think their items and their commodities are worth a lift, an airlift. And many businesses have chosen roads, and many others have chosen airlift for their goods to bring it to India. I'm really honored to inherit a relationship that has been founded by our ancestors, our grandfathers. We're building on this by contributing more in terms of providing platforms to both countries so that they engage more. India and Afghanistan, as I said earlier, have a very old and deep cultural relationship and historical relationship. We have a foundation called the India-Afghanistan Foundation that deals with our cultural relations. And we've been doing different programs which bring our people together to exchange views, to speak about the shared values and commonalities. We recently had our first India-Afghanistan Cultural Week program. An entire week, academia, students or businesses or students especially, they sat together, they talked about our cultural relations. We will continue to hold such joint culture programs where our people will be getting closer than they are today. And more importantly, a large Afghan diaspora in India. And I've been engaging them since I came, visiting different states of India. Wherever I've been, I've come across Afghan diaspora. They are a very strategic tool for us to represent the two countries' close ties. As a matter of fact, I was in Mumbai 2 days ago, where I met more than 1,000 Afghan diaspora based in Mumbai and in the surroundings of Mumbai. And we discussed how the Afghan diaspora in India can further contribute to this ancient and civilizational ties. And we look forward to doing more of this in the future. I'll be visiting other states. I went to Bhopal some time back as well, the same large Afghan diaspora. So we are doing a number of things in order for our countries to get closer and to do more of people-to-people contact. As a result, the relationship will be stronger than it is today. Well, India is a very diverse country. I think that is the beauty of India. Whichever part of India you visit, you see diversity. You see, beautiful culture, traditional, aspects of that part of India. I'm really impressed by the diversity and the rich culture, the simplicity, the fact that a country of such diverse nature and a size of 1.25 billion people, I think is something a lot to learn. How people of different, castes or segments of society are able to live peacefully with such a great love among all of them. So it's really a unique by nature, India as a whole. In Afghanistan, people look at India as a country of love, a country of peace, a country of great values. India is a great destination for the world, a country of opportunities, and a country to learn from, more importantly. Therefore, India has a much, much brighter future. Prospects for future are much, much brighter as you see how India is heading towards future. Economically speaking, India is becoming, and has become fourth economic power in a short period of time, which is 70 years of its effort after independence. Becoming fourth largest economic power is a foundation that will take India to a much higher heights in the future. Therefore, given all the experiences of India in terms of its growth, progress, peace, stability, political stability and physical stability and peace, all this has given India the status to be embraced by everyone. Well, my first impression when I came to India, right after I took over in 2012, I immediately sensed that India is a place to learn, to explore. And I was really attracted by the learning opportunities. And I wasted no time but to think from right beginning when I came to join while serving in my given capacity to educate more and to learn more from what is available in India. And that took me to JNU. And I joined JNU as a PhD student in 2013. And I was able to do my PhD in 3 years. Sometimes it's really unimaginable to get things done in such a short period of time, but since India itself is giving an environment to some that pushes one to do more, pushes one to get things done. And that impression took me to JNU, and I was able to do my PhD. JNU environment, as you know, is again a very cosmopolitan environment. India, I think, is the only university which is very much in nature international, where you see lots of students from around the world. It is exposed to students from the rest of the world. And I think quality-wise, JNU is, I believe, one of the best, not only at the regional level, but I think at the global level, where you have very fine professors and lecturers. And the integrity of the university. And I really was impressed by the principles, the laws, which were implemented regardless of whoever he or she were or she was to be studying in that university. When I joined, I thought maybe I would be a little different from the rest of the students there, because I was a diplomat, an ambassador. But really I was dealt with as one of any other student there. My meetings, my exchange with professors, I never felt. Early days I would have perhaps expected a little more from them, but then later on I realized that this was the best environment one could get, to get the feeling that when you enter an environment of education, then we have to preserve equality. And that equality was preserved, plus with quality education there. So it's a great environment, great impressions that I have had while being in JNU. I wish this university all the best, and I look forward to staying in touch as an alumni, as I do right now. I often go to JNU, and when I go, I really try to remove my ambassador hat, just to mingle and mix into the students and exchange. That really gives you a fine feeling, because student life, I think, is best part of life in one's life. So I have had that taste of my life once again when I joined JNU. So I'm proud alumni of JNU. Well, that was also another very, very important achievement for all of us as a team here in Delhi. When I came to Delhi, I came to know of a large number of Afghan children without education, because in India, as per the rules, foreign children without proper documentation hardly get admission in schools. And in addition to that, the Afghan nationals based in Delhi, in many cases economically they're challenged when it comes to education and providing education to their children. So seeing that situation again encouraged me to seek permission or seek assistance from my own government to provide a school facility to Afghan children living in Delhi. And you won't believe it took me 4 years to argue and to seek that assistance from my government before I had the school opened for Afghan children. I'm really pleased to see around 600 Afghan children studying in Jamaluddin Afghan School in Bogal area of Delhi. Because these are the children who are poor, underprivileged. Today have the opportunity, and in 2 months' time we will have the first batch of these students graduating from this primary high school, and they will be finding ways and opportunity to go to universities in Delhi. So this is one of the achievements that I'm really relieved when I think of my own responsibilities here before the Afghan nationals. Well, we are grateful to India for giving the opportunity for our students who come and study. I mean, the fact that we have such a large number of Afghan students means that the Afghan students, or the Afghans as a whole, feel very comfortable to be living in India, either for just their time or also for education. India, as I mentioned earlier, share with us culture, tradition, values. Our students, when they come here, they feel home, and I feel home here as well. I sometimes really forget that I'm in a foreign country. It is not a foreign country for us. We come across people with the same habits, with the same tradition, with the same feelings. Therefore, India is a home away from home for us. That's how our feelings are, and therefore there has been no changes. Rather, if we see anything, is for the better. Life for Afghans who either study or either live freely in India, and we will continue to exchange in the future. You may know that India and Afghanistan used to exchange students, professors in the 70s when it comes to education. And we are heading towards the revival of that kind of exchanges between the two countries, where our students come here and Indian students go and study in Kabul universities or other universities of Afghanistan. And there are still some who are alive from the time of 60s, 70s who studied in Kabul, and today they're here in India, telling me the stories how Kabul was like and how things were at that time. I'm really looking forward to see that once again. Exchange of people, exchange of students, exchange of universities, cooperation, as it was in the 60s and the 70s. Not much. The only difference is the spice in it. That's what you will see the difference. Afghan Indian cuisine is very much the same. We eat the same food. The only difference I and other Afghans see in India is the spice a bit more than we put in Afghanistan. So I really enjoy the food. Of course, the food in India, certainly when you go to other parts of India, especially when you go to the south, you come across a little more spice than you come across in Delhi or north as a whole. But we are used to it now. I really enjoy it. I think there is a point behind in having a spicy food. I see it's very healthy and with a lot of more energy one get when you have spicy food. I really like the food, and I even think of having the same food when I go to Afghanistan, because this is more tasty than I sometimes think of my own food. Well, I would say that the channel which works for improving people-to-people relations, exploring shared culture, values between countries and nations, is a great service that you are doing to all of us. Some people may not know about the similarities between nations, about shared values and culture. You are the ones who are conveying that and informing people of this, which helps a lot in terms of the many challenges we face, that this be a solution to those challenges. I think it's a mission that serves the interests of everyone, and I wish you all the best, and I hope that you will continue to talk to people and talk about what you talk about with me, which is culture, values, impressions, and views how this relationship can be further improved.